was tough. I mean, how much did you kind of agree with that? And what did you think of your performance today, especially considering that the running game for some of the other guys wasn't able to get going?
Yeah, I thought that obviously we came out, first drive started off really hot. And then things kind of slowed down from then on. I just kind of wanted to be like the piece of our team that kind of just stayed consistent throughout the game, never got too high or get too low. There's a lot of emotions that go on throughout a game, and you kind of just have to be that way, especially as a quarterback. So I just want to be a guy that the team can rely on, especially in critical downs and stuff like that. So when it got to that point, I wanted the ball in my hands.
One of the biggest areas you've grown in is that of a pure passer. What do you feel like has gone into that? How do you think that really showed through today?
I think a big part of it is just like year two. Fans and all that stuff. Like some people don't really understand what it takes, to get engulfed into a new offense, especially as a quarterback, and it just takes time. And I kind of alluded to this previously about just like my confidence, and just the more reps that I've gotten from then on is just boosted that, and I'm kind of just able to play. The game kind of just slows down.
And in terms of mechanics, mental processing ability, things like that, where do you feel like you've grown and where are you still looking to grow?
Yeah, I think that stuff like you can always improve on. I'm sure you guys have seen it. We've been very diligent in mental health and stuff like that, and I'm able to meet with people, and never really had that in the past. So I thought that's been able to bring my game up a lot, and from the mental side of it, and I think that shows on the field too.
Can you take us through that fourth down touchdown to Detroit?
Yeah, I knew I was going to be hot. We were in a 5-man pass pro, and I was hoping that my first read to Quinchon was going to be able to be there, but they played it good. And that mental clock kind of goes off in your head, like, all right, like you got to make a play now. So I knew who I was hot off of. So once I knew my first read wasn't there, I just knew I had to try to make something happen.
What did losing Trey early in the game kind of alter maybe to the passing game, or John had mapped out the rest of the way?
Yeah, he's kind of like an irreplaceable guy. He's just super talented and the center stone of our offense. So, it was definitely tough to have him go down, but I thought guys stepped up and played huge roles in us coming back, especially in that second half. And, like I said, like we didn't flinch, we didn't hesitate, and, we knew that we were going to figure it out.
You guys marched right down the field, and there was a little bit of a run with you guys. How did you guys stay in the game? How did you guys stay composed? And then what was the adjustment that the offense made at halftime?
Like I said, we had a lot of dudes that were able to just kind of keep steady. And we didn't let the emotions of the game get too high or get too low. And, we had great coaches around us that were able to keep us on that point. And, the game of football, it's always on to the next play, especially if you make a mistake. So, the game's all 4 quarters and it's long. So, the game's never won in the first half. It's always won in the second half.
You had that long run, I think it was 2nd and 17, and you got 20 or so. You got it pretty jacked up. Why did that run mean a little bit more to you?
I don't know. It's kind of just like my emotion just kind of came out, blacked out a little bit. But I thought it was a big point in the game. I knew that we were going to have to score on that drive because I think we got a turnover on that drive or something like that. So I knew that we had to make a play, put points up on the board, and just felt like after that run, we had ourselves in a good situation.
Piggybacking off that one, you were emotional a couple times throughout the game. Playing in an environment like today, how does that prepare you guys for conference play?
Yeah, I mean, this team is really good. They just came off of winning a Cotton Bowl and a top 10 team, and then obviously they're a top 25 team this year, which I think that, they're better than what they're ranked. So, they're just super talented. They're very disciplined, and, we just had to, like I said, we just had to stay diligent in our process and just trust our coaching and trust our training.
Just have the mood at halftime and the message for y'all offense coming out of the break there.
Well, running into halftime, I talked to Kiff a little bit, and we were almost like, it's kind of like the game from Vandy last year a little bit. And I just knew that like we were going to get things figured out. Like, the run game wasn't working that well in the first half. And I mean, our identity as a team is being able to run the ball. So, and especially, just taking control of the line of scrimmage. So I knew that stuff was going to figure itself out. And, we always have really good second half adjustments. So I think as a team, like, our confidence just didn't really waver. At the end of the game, it was kind of funny. I talked to Coach Weiss, and we were just like, this team, or our team last year in this game would have lost. And I think it just says a lot about the culture that we had and the work that we put in this offseason and guys really buying in.
What was that improvement, you think, of you talk about the work ethic and culture and stuff, but last year's team would have lost, you think, and this year's team would have won. What's that difference, you think, that this year's team has?
I just think that we identified the things that were important that were missing last year. We felt like at times we were almost kind of like front runners, where things were going really good and we were able to, make plays all the time. And then when we hit adversity, it almost seemed to like slow down, and we couldn't find a way to get over the hump. And a lot of the leaders and a lot of the guys from this past season, throughout the whole off season, like we knew that our culture was like the biggest thing that we needed to improve on. We knew that we had talent. We're always gonna have talent. We just need to buy into the program, buy into our coaches, and buy in as a whole together, and kind of just get rid of our egos.
You mentioned what another year in this offense does for a quarterback. It seemed like a lot of the guys making plays today were guys who have been here, who were here last year. What does another year in this environment mean to you and some of your peers who have been here for a little while?
You just feel more comfortable. Like I said, the more reps that you get in the system, gets to a point where you almost know the offense like the back of your hand. And I feel like this year we have a lot of really smart players, especially the guys that have come back from last year. So it's like you almost have coaches on the field, and we're just kind of able to make in-game adjustments and really communicate things to one another. And I felt like because of that, it puts us in a really good spot to succeed.
What's morale kind of in the locker room after a game like that? Is it more of just kind of a unsatisfied mindset, or do you think that this was something where you and the teammates were really excited about and something you could build on as well?
Obviously we expected to win, so like it's not like it was a shock or anything like that, but I think like the morale moving forward is just it's definitely high, because we know that if we have a bad quarter or a bad drive or something like that, we're going to be able to rebound on the next. And I just felt like you couldn't count us out, and we were able to just make adjustments and obviously come out with the win.
Last question.
He was a false starter on that 4th and 1, and Caden Davis comes out and it's a 57-yarder. What's going through your head during that whole situation?
Yeah, it's almost like silent blessings a little bit. It's funny that from practices you just see like Caden's leg and just how strong it is and stuff like that. So you've seen him hit that field goal in practice before, and obviously you get the adrenaline and you come out on the field. So I honestly had no doubt in my mind. I knew he was going to hit it. He hit the one earlier before that, and I just feel like for him, that was huge. It was a big confidence builder for him moving forward, and I really look forward to him succeeding this year.
All right, guys, that's it. Thanks, Jaxson.